Hello everybody, welcome back to Crafty Cabbage. So due to popular demand, I am going to be making another Krita video. My first Krita video went super duper viral, way more than any of my other videos have. My second one did pretty decent, so I figured I would make a part 3. So today I am going to be going through more of the whole interface, customizing it for yourself, making super easy, cool drawings, and coming up I am going to be getting a drawing tablet, so make sure you click the subscribe button if you have not already. So anyway, let's jump right into this tutorial. First thing you're going to want to do is make sure you're running the latest version of Krita. I actually am not currently, so I am going to run that now. I downloaded it off their website. There's a link in the description box down below. Just keep clicking yes and keep going until your Krita is fully installed. In this video, I am actually running 4.4.1. So if you aren't running that version, this should still be super helpful. Just might be a few things you want to check out and make sure that you have the exact same interface. So I drew this in Krita today, and I really liked how it worked. And I really recommend you go, if you have any specific question, you can watch any tutorial on how to do digital art. Like if you want to draw a popsicle, I believe I got this from a YouTuber who makes shorts. I'm not entirely sure their name. But anyway, if you want to learn how to do it, like if they're drawing in Procreate or something, you can just search up how to do that effect, basically, in Krita. And then there is lots of tutorials on almost all things because Krita is widely used. So I recommend you do that. I use that to figure out how to do the mirror thing down the middle so it is equal. Huge advantage of Krita is it comes with some very nice default brushes. However, for me, I really like to have like all kinds of brushes. Like I've seen tree brushes, so you don't have to draw each tree. It's just, there's all kinds of brushes. I'll have a link down in the description there's a link to a really good brush set that I just downloaded for absolutely free. There's also a link to a YouTube video on how to download brushes, and you can download brushes from all kinds of sites. Just make sure they are safe sites. Just go on Google and search Krita brush set free, or on Krita's website they actually have free brushes that you can download as well. For Krita, I recommend you check out my first and second tutorials, but just to get you started, click new file, and over here you should be able to select how many pixels. I'm going to go with a 2000 by 2000. And then 300 DPI is the amount of it's the print quality basically. So I recommend you go with 300 unless your computer is like really old or slow. So I hopped onto the computer now, and I'm basically gonna go over a few basics, and then we can hop right into the stuff most of you guys are probably here for. So basically, to zoom, use the scroll wheel on your mouse, and you can zoom in quite a bit and zoom out quite a bit. And like you can use the mouse to go around the thing, kind of basic, move your mouse to the bottom right and the canvas will move to the bottom right. You can use these little things to move the canvas up and down. Plus is to zoom in also, and minus, I personally prefer to use the plus and minus keys because they actually really help to make sure that you are not like getting the canvas messed up. So here we have our first paint layer, but I'm gonna actually delete that, and I'm gonna show you exactly how this works. So when you open a brand new Krita document, you will be met by this kind of seems a little scary page. So the first thing you are going to see is on the right side. This might look different than mine, which is totally fine. So try to find the advanced color selector and get that over here. The layers panel, make sure you're not on the channels. The channels I personally don't find a use for, as I can avoid them and they are quite complicated. I haven't really used them too much. Anyway, here's your brush preset history. Totally helpful to have these because I use some of these a lot. These are actually not the ones I tend to use. Anyway, you can unlock it and then you can paint on it, right?
So I'm currently using a chalk brainy. This is from a pack I actually put into Krita, not a default brush. So if you want to get a brush that looks super cool like this, it is laggy currently because I'm showing my screen to you guys. But it usually is not laggy, but these are cool brushes, so I can just undo that by clicking Control Z on your keyboard. You can also go up to here and click undo and redo. The Control Shift Z is the redo. Okay, so now we can move on to this. Click a plus layer. Super helpful to have because that's where you're going to be painting on. Now, if you go up to here, go back. This is where all your brushes is. I believe most of these weird looking ones, I mean the less original ones that look fancier, are ones I've inserted, but I can't actually remember everything I inserted. But I'm gonna go with a, where is my favorite pencil? There is a really nice pencil that's really light. It's perfect for sketching, but I can't currently find it. Anyway, we can just get started. So the first thing, you can just draw, right? And over here, you can pick any color you want, right? You can spin the wheel and then get whatever this shows. On the right over there where it was, it showed the red, and that's what I used to be at. And then this is the color that I am selecting currently, if that makes sense. So I am gonna actually grab a nice neon green. Over here, you can control the opacity. Pretty simple, right? Like, so that's not very visible, hardly at all. So I can just undo that, and this controls the size, so that's hardly visible. That is huge, right? You can see that. But the opacity, right, it's at 8 now. Now if I go up to 100, see, it's fully there. But it's a charcoal pencil, so the outside is a little bit less opaque. So now we can move on to our next thing. My layers seem to like to disappear on me, which is totally cool. You can move the layer with this thing up and down. Duplicate the layer. I'm gonna actually not keep that one. So a few things I have found helpful have been, I'm gonna blow this one up and go ahead and just draw a nice big thing here. Okay, so a few things I have found helpful have been Control, Shift, and G. So that makes a clipping group. This may seem a little complicated because it is, and then on the mask layer, it is only gonna allow you to draw in that area. You see, it's not going outside, it's just letting you go within that area. So if I create I'm gonna create a better example for you guys. So I'm going to show you another tool that I find very helpful, if I can find it. Now, I just updated my Krita, so down here is this tool. So this means you can add this. It's the same thing except a different direction, if you understand what I'm saying. So if I go like this, you see it mirrors it on the other side. That's how I did the popsicle. So that's very helpful. Now I'm gonna go over on the left side, grab my bucket fill tool, and try and fill it in as much as possible, right? And then I can go over here and go ahead and turn that tool off. So this is kind of complicated, but it's super helpful once you get the hang of it. Anyway, the thing I'm gonna show you is the clipping mask tool. So when I was making the popsicle, I'm actually gonna just real quick make a really quick popsicle for you guys, like really bad, but just to demonstrate. So there we go, right? A horrible, ugly popsicle, totally fine. Control Shift G. So that's gonna create a clipping mask. I was explaining that a second ago, but anyway, yeah, that's what we are going to do. So I'm gonna grab orange, right? And boom, you see, the orange is not going outside of the white, it is staying within the shape. Super helpful, super duper helpful. So I undid the clipping mask, and now what I'm gonna show you is actually, I am going to real quick fill in this whole shape. It does not matter, I'm just trying to demonstrate the best I can, right, to show you guys all the tools. So this is super simple. So once you get here with a random shape, you can duplicate. I find duplicating very helpful for creating drop shadows and strokes around it, and basically making anything look 3D. If you hover over layers, it'll give you some info on them, and if you double click, you can rename them, like hello, hi, subscribe. That's something I would appreciate if you did. You do not have to. You can toggle on and off if you can see it. Lock the alpha, which is also known as the opacity. You can do this, which kind of is complicated. It has to do with the clipping masks, which if you search up clipping masks Krita, then you will see a bunch of videos. And also you can comment if you want to see any tutorials on any big topics here. You can lock so that way you can't draw, right? You see that red cross through thing? Means you can't draw. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do here is I am going to show you how this works, but I'm going to load up a popsicle. I loaded up this example. So this I drew with a tutorial. But anyway, it has lots of layers, tons and tons of layers, right? I put a black background. But anyway, just to explain it, as you can see over here, I just duplicated this layer, right? The popsicle layer here, which I'm going to show you in a second. And I moved it over a tiny bit, and then I changed the balance of the colors. So how you do that is I'm going to demonstrate on this one. Let's see if I hide it. Yeah, we can just use that one as an example. So I basically sketched out this popsicle shape thing. So basically I'm going to just quickly merge down the layers. So that's merge with layer below. That's super helpful to use. Now I am going to duplicate those layers, or you can also go with Control J. I simply usually just right click because I never remember all the shortcuts, and half the time I would mess it up super badly. So I can just drag it over, right? And now it looks horrible, which is totally fine because I'm going to drag the copy underneath, and then I'm going to go up to filter, adjust, and then I am also going to go to level. So or Control L will totally work. That's totally fine. And now you see it gives us a nice shadow. Now this does look kind of weird. You're probably thinking, ew, what are you thinking? Now you can just adjust it and it'll look much better. So now it looks way more realistic. I mean, take a look. Does this look more realistic, or does this look more realistic? That looks not 3D at all. But this is such an easy thing to add. Now, another thing I really enjoy about Krita is if you right click, you can get a ton of tools, right? These are a bunch of the default brushes. You can also have like 2 different colors, I think. I am not sure, to be honest. I don't really use these tools too much. But anyway, there's all kinds of tools like an airbrush. I really like the airbrush effect that it gives. Like, for example, I'm gonna go up here and I can get the color picker. Now, if you're kind of confused what I'm doing here, if you're like, what is he doing? Is like, I'm way behind in what he's doing, then it's totally cool. Click the videos. There are 2 videos on my channel right now that you should totally check out if you are confused. It's totally okay, and you will understand. So I'm just adding a nice little side shading. I don't know if that's correct. Now, you see, I just went out of it. Like, right, it went off, which looks bad. And even if you just make a tiny mistake, it's totally cool. But you can undo it, or you can, it just will look less good, right? So go Control Shift G. That is very helpful, and that will get you the clipping group as I was talking about. So this can prevent you from making mistakes. Now, the problem that I want Krita to update, but it's not really a problem, it just would be very handy to not have as an issue, is right down here, if you have layers below, it still shows. So if you do have that issue, which I've had multiple times, but it's fine. You just want to go back. There's all kinds of settings too here about like the size, ratio, spacing, mirror, softness, all kinds of craziness. That's super cool. I don't use half the things in here, and I can make some pretty sick drawings. So if you just go right across, you see, and erase it. Make sure you're on the mask layer to prevent any mistakes in your thing. So now, not for a cartoon thing like this, but let's say you're drawing a very super realistic animal or something. Then the M key is going to be extremely helpful to mirror, right? You see how it mirrors it? I find that super cool because sometimes like your face, you're staring at it for hours, and just flipping the perspective can really show, oh man, those eyes are really big, or whatever the issue is. So now I'm just gonna show you guys a little bit more. Add a layer, you can always do that, and you can drag your layers around. So I'm just gonna grab a black. I am going to go up to my brushes, and tons of brushes. I really like these stamp brushes. I was experimenting with this stamp grass brush. I believe it's a default, and I really like it because it really gets realistic trees and hills. But anyway, I'm gonna grab the basic one. That's the one I use pretty much. It's basically like just a black line or whatever color you choose. I'm gonna go with some big derpy eyes right now on this. I think I'm gonna make a mushroom actually. So you can always go onto Google and search up a reference photo. For example, I just hopped onto Google and found this cool mushroom picture. I'm going for the traditional kind of, the fairy tale mushroom. So I'm gonna get some white, like misshapen dots all over my mushroom. So the reference photos obviously are super helpful if you aren't entirely sure everything about it. So I'm actually gonna start by zooming in here. Super helpful that your brush stays the same size as you zoom in. I mean, it obviously gets bigger, but it stays the same proportion, which is, I find, super helpful. It really makes my drawing process so much easier because I zoom in and out like literally non-stop. So I'm going to move over my canvas here, and also I'm making this like a kawaii mushroom. Anyway, make a few small dots. That's the kawaii eyes, right? If you like this mushroom I'm making here, comment down below. Okay, so anyway, go across. I'm just doing a kawaii mouth, kind of, except that's not straight. So that's kind of the issue. I'm drawing with a mouse, which is really hard. So here's another prime example of where the clipping mask really can come in handy. So I just actually realized that my mouth is on the same layer as my eyes. So try to make as many layers for every new element, because you can always merge them down. So now I'm gonna actually have to undo using Control-Z and redo the mouth. It's totally cool, but make sure to periodically check to see if you are on the right layer. So now that I have it on two separate layers, you can test this by hovering over each layer, and it usually works, but it seems to not like me right now. Or you can just hide each layer to double check. Now I'm gonna click Control-Shift-G. It's gonna make us a clipping mask. Make sure you don't move around the layers too much in your clipping mask because they're quite confusing. So get a nice tongue red. I'm gonna go with like a subtle pink, and I think that's gonna look super nice. So that didn't work for some reason. I might have to undo and see what's going on. See, you can see now that I accidentally did the clipping mask on the eyes. So you always want to check before panicking. When something like that happens, it's usually super simple to solve. So boom, that looks super cool with that tongue. I actually want to make it a tiny bit smaller, so Control-Z. I believe it's pretty much the same on Mac. I don't use Mac, I am a Windows user. So yeah, I think that looks pretty nice. Now I'm going to go on top and click plus. Now you can move the layer up, right? So now it's above the clipping mask. Sometimes the layers get trapped in the clipping mask. I think that might be a Krita glitch. I'm not very professional about fixing the glitches. I don't really know how to do it very well. But I think just undo it and redo and give it a try again. So I'm trying this. I don't entirely know what happened. So let's see if the charcoal pencil works. Yeah, it does. Okay, so now I can go up here and basically find the brush of my choice. I really like their default stamps, as I was saying. So I might try and find like a earthy circle. If that makes any sense to anybody. Like that. I kind of like that. Wow, they have stamps, bricks. That's super cool. But you can just experiment around. I'm gonna go with, I think, like one, maybe two of these. Actually, I'm gonna blow it up slightly. So you can just experiment around a little. And get what you want. So, as you can see, the presets are your brush preset history is over on the right side. Now, you might not have that. That was actually my default, and I tried around a lot, and I really liked how it looked with the default. So, I kept with the default because I think it looks super nice. So, I'm just adding the little dots along the mushroom. I'm gonna add some variety. Oopsie, see, sometimes you will mess up. It's totally cool. I'm gonna actually undo about half of them and maybe add a few and then blow up for one maybe and then shrink down for a bunch of tiny dots. Okay, those are too tiny. See, it takes lots of experimenting. I'm no expert at digital art. I just really enjoy it, and you guys have enjoyed my tutorials. So if you want anything clarified, feel free to comment, and I can send you a video on Instagram or to your email or whatever you want to get yourself that. So this does look pretty nice, I think, but I am also going to grab my eraser and erase a few of them slightly, and then I'm gonna fix the stem. So I found this super cute reference photo that I think I'm gonna use a little bit, as I did notice that the stem was looking really weird. So I can just go ahead and actually I have to remove this, I believe. Yeah, I'm gonna have to remove the shadow because I am gonna now change the color. So here on the clipping mask, I am going to actually have to erase. So there is my mushroom. It's not my favorite. I think it's kind of cute. I mean, I was just trying to show you guys, so I didn't really work on it too much. It only took me about 25 minutes-ish, and I really like how it looks. And you can export this by going up to the top and clicking export, which then will prompt you to choose any of these. Look at all of these different kinds of files. There are so many kinds. You can export as a PNG, a standard resolution PNG, good thing. A Photoshop image, very helpful. If you use Photoshop as well, then you can draw in Photoshop as well. A GIMP file, which is helpful if you want to use GIMP, a free program that I recommend you give a try as well. There's all kinds, like you can save a brush preset. I mean, I'm not going to do that, but then you just click save and boom, there you go. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope this video helped you out. If it did, please give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any questions. I would love to help out if I can. I'm no expert, but I would love to help you guys out if I can. Feel free to subscribe because I have some fun digital art videos and more art videos coming soon. I might be trying Procreate. I might be trying some drawing pads. I'm not entirely sure what's coming next, but anyway, I got some super cool videos planned in the next few weeks, and I also have some hydro dipping Air Force One video coming soon, so stay tuned for that one. That one's going to be an awesome video. Anyway, I hope you guys are staying safe, and I will see you in my next video next weekend. Goodbye.